All right. Hello and greeting, everyone. So, all right.
Hello.
This is not gonna be too long. So this today is for two things. So I want to apologize for the lapse that happened for the been in a hospital in the past 3 emergency visits in the past within 2 weeks and hospitalized for 3. So then I am like, telling someone, go ahead, well, can you go and just do the show and let them people know the Jema is, which is me, will do the introduction. So let them know. Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm like, what do you mean you're not doing it? They're waiting for both of us. So anyway, for all of you who have been on the show, watching the show before, thank you so much. We're here to say, sorry and welcome back. Thank you for reaching out. Some of you have reached out, prayed for me while I was in a hospital, visited and called. I really appreciate that. And thank you for making us that know and feel that we were missed. So for those of you who are watching us for the first time, who clicked for the first time, thank you so much. My name is Jema Redeemed. I am the creator behind this, and this is my partner.
Hi, I am Benji.
Today, it was supposed to be a continuation of what perception is. A little bit of last show that we talked about anxiety, depression, and we're going to talk about perception. So, perception, we're not going to go deep into it, but I believe in a whole other people right now. For example, my partner just had an emergency this morning, had to go to the dances and feeling some type of way about herself. But we also feel this is a good time and a good way to come and for her to express. We can talk a little bit about what adjustment is. Life has a tendency of throwing things at us, unexpected things. So when that happens, we have to readjust ourselves. I had to accept while I was laying there that the show was not going to happen because someone was scared and tried to do other things, to surprise me with my other partner that's going to be coming. It didn't happen because there was another adjustment there. So all this can actually impact someone. All this can either cause depression, depending on what level of your depression is, or create anxiety that actually impact your daily life as well. So I am sitting there, I had a choice to either do that, let it hurt me more as I am dealing with my own health issues, or just relax or control the level of anxiety that it was creating for me. So I did that. And then we did everything to record, and today the obstacles that we just went through, and then my partner had to go to take care of her situation with the teeth, and she was like, nope, I don't know, and she feels some type of way. She's gonna be talking more about that, and this is when we go into perception.
Yeah, this is an exact example of what perception is. So when I work with my little kiddos, oftentimes they struggle to express what they're feeling in certain moments. Part of it's because they don't have language for it, right? And so I have this beautiful pillow, for those of you who are listening, that has a wheel of emotions, right? And it have every emotions that you can think of: positive, negative, neutral, and so on. When I look at this wheel of emotion, that feels like a therapy session. I love the psychoeducation. Then again, that's what
the show is about.
The show's about. So
that's what the show's about.
Anyway, when I look at the wheel of emotion, the feelings that I'm feeling right now as we do filming this episode is embarrassment, and it's coming from what will other people think, and this is what perception is. I'm talking funny, I look funny, I'm smiling funny, I look like I took like 100 Botox today. If it certainly feels
Oh, that's
like
what I'm
that.
sorry. That's what she looks like. I'm like, when she said that earlier, I was like, yeah, you do look like you have Botox.
Right, I look like I've been taking Botox for like a couple years, and
Yeah.
this is the result,
Mhm.
right? And so I feel embarrassed about the way I'm presenting. Even my talking is a little bit strange because I'm like talking like somebody who talks with their tongue, you know, using the Haitian culture. I don't know, how do they call it?
Palisulang.
Exactly, you speak on your tongue, which doesn't always translate.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Always
translation makes no sense, so ignore the translation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I am feeling vulnerable and embarrassed to come with this. And the reason why is the perception, right? The perception of how others, who I don't even know,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know? So that goes into the pressure that we put into children to do better, to do good. Your kids come
or
with
partner.
or partners, yeah. Every time I talk, it's gonna be kids related, just because
You do more kids than I do.
The bulk of my work is with children. I do adults too, but the bulk of my work is children, and that's kind of like the population that I went to school for and trained in. But the pressure that you, as a community, we put on children when your kids comes home with a B or an A.
Or B plus. We just ask for
Or
an A.
whichever where you are, where you listen to us, either an 8 or a B, or a B plus, or even an A minus. And you say, why didn't you have an A or A plus?
Plus, yeah.
Right? Or why didn't you have a 10 or a 9? That those are acceptable. We don't really think about why can't we accept what they bring? Why is what they bring to us not good enough? Because we want to brag. We want to say we have an all A child, an A child, like, you know, top of their class,
A, yeah.
straight
yeah.
A's. Because it's the perception of how other people will view our parenting. The fact that if our kids do good, that reflects on us being good parents.
Then it becomes about us
Exactly. So it's not really about the kiddo.
for most of the time.
So when you think about perception, it's how you let other people's view of you determine what you do in your own home. Most of us will say, I don't care what people think. Deep down, we all do.
That's not true.
It's sad.
We say it, but that's not true.
Yes, it's sad. But deep down, we all do care. And that's where the perceptions come from. And I feel like it's deeply rooted in us, not just the Haitian community.
No.
In everyone.
No.
The perception of others, you want people to have a good sense of you, whether or not you're a parent or a decent human being. You want other people to think highly.
So, as I had shared in the Haitian Creole version, is my perceptions. Education is high. I grew up with knowing this is the top. There is no way out of it. So, but I also had put a personal pressure on me, which I didn't know at the time. It was a pressure on me because I had something to show. I had something to prove. Because my mom had went through a lot with her siblings, who, for them, my mom's kids were never gonna amount to anything. So I was gonna show them as a particular one, right? So in showing them, so I put a lot of pressure on me. So to a point that actually people said I was addicted to school. I never liked school. So which is also one of the things that I actually use even with my kids when they, my own children, when they say that Mom, I don't like school, and I don't like this. I think my kids were shocked when I told them, okay, I never liked school. But it's also very hard. I find it very hard for most people to believe, well, those who are around me who know that I have, countless certifications on many different things, as if I wanted to learn everything in the world. I have 2 masters in 2 different, fields. So, and many different trainings, right? So when I say that, and people at the time always saw me going to school, like, what do you mean you don't like school? As if it became me. Without having those certifications, those diploma, I am letting my mom down. My mom didn't put that kind of pressure on me. And directly she did, but in a way. So I took it upon myself to say, I'm going to prove to these people that what they said about my mom's kids is not going to happen. So school became something important to me. So people were shocked after I got my first master's and I went to my second master's and, like all the certification and all of that, but they didn't know the story behind what you see, right? Why was I doing that? So, but here's the thing. So that was my perceptions of what I know that was being reflected on my family, my immediate family, and myself, my siblings. So I wanted to show them. But the problem is, which becomes what we call generational trauma, I brought it onto my kids because I wanted A's and B's. Anything lower than that, it's not coming to my house. It's not coming to my house.
But why was that so important to you? Reflecting back on it now.
So, reflecting back on it, as I said, it came from me. So if I do it, but I like the fact you asked that question. Because here's the thing, if it's on me, I did it in Haiti where I had to fight to go to school, I had to fight, but I actually kept my grades and I came here, I was working, I was doing this, so why can't you do it too? And then in the back of my head, I still had things to prove, so I had to prove those things through my kids as far as education is concerned. Education is good. Education is necessary. That's not what I'm talking about. You have to push your kids to do the best that they can do, the best that they can do, and meet them there. So when I was pushing them, it was me living through. As many of you know, Shut Up Until You There is my creation. Is the name on the story behind what you see. So there's many reasons as to why the name is Shut Up Until You Dare, the story behind what you see. So when people saw me going to school, didn't do this, and they thought I was addicted to school, there is a story behind it. So when my Shut Up Until You Dare moment with my kids, I had 2 kids, long story short, that needed special ed education because they don't learn the same way as most do. I have one of my children who has sickle cell. By the time he was 13, he had 3 strokes. So imagine me pushing that child the same way as the other one. Yes, I still put pressure on him because I'm not gonna actually baby him because and readjust his brain so he can catch up. But I also had to slow down and understand, all right, shut up until you're there, because you're there now, you have a child who learns differently. Who have a child who has special needs, who have a child who have a circumstance that I could push him the same way as another one that doesn't have the same issue. So my perception to them made me put my kids through hell when it came to grade at some point in life. So then I needed people to know, of course, that I am doing this, and my kids is just like something. Okay, if I am having bills, I am going to work, I have a little job, and I can pull this grade, so you can do it too. So it's coming from me. So I put those pressure. Both of those kids have extreme, test anxiety. They can study, they can this. So when they bring me certain grades, so now I have to take a deep breath and understand, why is it? Is that the best that you could do?
Meeting them where they are.
Is that the best that they could do? Understanding that, yes, they study, putting in. I remember being in an IEP meeting for my son, right? And then grade was, grade was before I understood things. I wanted to choke him, type of thing, right? What's wrong with you? Then by that time I had learned so much, and I was sitting there, and then they were telling me he was doing this. Literally, as the report was coming to me, my child was doing everything that he should have been doing to get good grades. But then when he sits to do the test, he gets so anxious, everything goes out of the window. Am I gonna be thinking about what my sister, my neighbors, my friends gonna be thinking about my child bringing up low grades, versus focusing on how do we reduce the stress level, anxiety level when he's taking the test, right? So how do we take the perception of others and ourselves out to do this. So these are the things that we wanted, to go into, which we will go into deeper.
We will. Perception is something that we can go much deeper, and it's not something that only impact the Haitian community.
Oh,
I think
no.
that impacts every single person in the world because it's ingrained in us. And what we're doing here, we're not saying not to put pressure on your kids,
Oh,
but
definitely
it's being
not.
able to have a balance.
A balance, yeah.
A balance of knowing what they need in that moment and what they don't need in that moment. And it's all the topic that we've been talking about. Trying to be more emotionally available. Because that's something that as a community we do lack. Being emotionally available to our kids. We do lack it. So we're not going to take too much of your time today. But we will go deeper into this idea of perception. Not even an idea. This whole concept.
There's a concept of perception.
A perception of others.
Because it guides so much. It guides our behavior,
Yes.
how we react, how we act. And as I said, we'll get into more, into detail of how I used to be with my kids when it comes to perceptions. Because the pressure I put on me then trickled down on them. So when I cut up with certain things, some of them am trying to fix, because okay, but I will share those with you and how those things can damage relationship perception.
Yes, and we will go deeper into it. This is just a start, and to really say we've had a lot happening, but we've not forgot to do the show.
So we just wanted to say thank you for those of us who reach out, pray, part of us, and reach out. And thank you for understanding, and also it's a good time for Ben to relate and connect what perception is with what the situation is right now today, because I know how she's feeling. So please, as we usually say, reach out, continue to reach out, continue to send us your, how you feel to our email, text, and all of that. Subscribe, share, because some people do like and they reach out to us. Share it for us, and go out there on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook channel, and TikTok. TikTok is Jema. The only difference is TikTok is Jema. After that, the YouTube channel, as you know, is Shut Up Until You're There. Facebook, Shut Up Until You're There. And Instagram, Shut Up Until You're There. And email is shutupUntillYou'reThere@gmail.com. So continue to reach out and do that. And we'll continue to go into deeper conversation about perceptions, because it impacts how you think, it impacts how you act, it impacts how you release certain things in your relationship with people. And until next time,
Shut up until you're done.
Until you're done.